Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Shankly Sessions, the Liverpool podcast we bring you each and every week on the upper tier. If you could head out there, smash that subscribe and bell notification button. And if you're enjoying the videos and the content we're putting together, drop a like on them as well. It means a lot to us. This is your Liverpool versus Newcastle match reaction and player ratings. Oh, what a roller coaster this team brings us on at times, isn't it? It's unbelievable, really. Um, Liverpool 2, Newcastle 1. Isaac with the goal on 38, Bobby with the goal on 61, and Carvalho with the goal on 98 minutes. Yep, let me repeat that 98 minutes. Let's analyse the game a little bit first before we get into the player ratings, because although we won the game and got the 3 points, I think it's only fair that the player ratings are going to be pretty harsh, to say the least, in some cases. But before we get into it, a couple of stats. Shots 23 to 5. Possession 72% to 28%. Corners 13 to 0. And crosses 48 to 12. Now, the game kind of went the way I thought it would go in terms of what both teams would deploy. I think we got most of our joy moving up through the middle and stuff like that, and we'll talk about it in the first half as well. And I think from Newcastle, certainly they were looking at set pieces and counter attacking, and we kind of highlighted their strengths and stuff from that as well. But if you look at the game, obviously Liverpool unchanged from the team against Bournemouth at 1-9-0. Newcastle with a couple of changes. Lascelles came in. He threw out the boy Isaac there straight away. Bit of a baptism of fire on Anfield, but boy, did the boy relish it and loved every minute of it, and absolutely stepped up to the plate. If you are listening or watching, drop into the comments there. Let me know your player ratings for when we get into it later on in the show. But the first half, I mean, we have to analyse the first half once again. Started out at a blistering pace for the first 5 or 10 minutes, and then it kind of dropped off. Liverpool were working the channels, but Newcastle were winning all the aerial duels, which we expected and we predicted on the preview. Um, I noticed in the first half as well, Salah very, very weak in possession. Every time the ball went into him, Dan Burns and Taggart on the side there, they were very easy to deal with Salah and dispossess him at times. It looks like his close control as well needs a bit of work as well. He seems very loose with the ball when the ball comes into him, stuff like that. Normally he's so solid in that area in terms of controlling the ball, and that close control that allows him to do what he does against players seems to be missing at the moment. Um, Also with Luis Diaz, obviously a live wire in the first half, but could be a little bit more clinical in possession. I think what happens is he picks up the ball, looks up, decides what he wants to do, but then when he gets there, I think he's not sure what he wants to do. Sometimes we spoke about this as well with Curtis Jones, where, a lot of his build up play is really, really good, but once he gets to that moment, that decision making moment, he tends to pick the wrong decision. So with Lewis Diaz as well, I think it's one of those things tonight. You could see it where it was a little bit frustrating for him and stuff like that. He was also getting tore up a little bit. There was a couple of nice, nasty battles going on around the pitch, and the ref was letting them go as well. Yeah, I know Joe was involved in one as well. Got absolutely clattered by Isaac. He gave him back a piece of his own medicine. But Lewis Diaz over on that side as well, was in a tasty little battle as well. Um, it's a real tough one to talk about as the half went on and stuff like that, but we kind of drifted out of it a little bit, until 34 minutes. Harvey Elliott with an unbelievable ball through to Luis Diaz, and Diaz with the control just took it away a little bit. So unlucky. There was an option there to play the ball to Salah and stuff like that, but he took it himself, and I'm not surprised really with the way it unfolded. But so unlucky. Would have been a sublime goal and a brilliant goal, and deserved it with Harvey Elliott with the way he played. It's hard to believe Liverpool in 2022 is relying on Harvey Elliott and Fabio Carvalho to carry us through. Two absolutely sensational young players and stuff like that. But sometimes you pinch yourself and you ask yourself, where's all the leaders and where's all the captains? You know what I mean? Where's the Virgil van Dijks at the moment? Where's the Jordan Hendersons at the moment? Where's all these players on the pitch who are actual leaders? We've got Harvey Elliott again cropping up, probably for a man of the match. And again, man of the match, as he has been in most of the games he's played in this season, which begs the question, the form of Mo Salah. Okay, he got 2 assists tonight, but his form still isn't there really, and especially in the first half. My comments in the first half was if we had an option, um, Mo Salah is very, very much droppable at the moment based on his form. So poor. 37 minutes. The Anfield crowd were in full voice, but on 37 minutes, Isaac played through the line. Um, Hendo absolutely asleep for it, and it all came from an absolutely lazy, terrible, poor pass from Trent in midfield. And that was kind of the theme through the game. Not so much in the second half when we pushed to try and get the winner once Bobby had scored. But up to that point, if you think it was 60 minutes or more, 60 minutes before we even had a shot on target. And then that first shot on target came, and then Bobby's goal came, was the second shot on target. 60 minutes at home against Newcastle before we had a shot on target. I have an image here that sums up the game, especially for you old school people. That there is the get out of jail free card on the Monopoly board, that most of you would be familiar with, and that's what really happened tonight. And yes, we're going to celebrate the win, and yes, we love a late winner, especially against Newcastle, and it keeps the record going at Anfield and stuff like that, and Virgil's record at Anfield going, stuff like that. But there's no doubt about it that the team in this match today should be that we got out of jail free. We were so lucky. It was such a war of attrition, really, and nothing less than what we'd expect from Eddie Howe. And really, really lucky, especially in the second half, because second half we kind of came out kind of very, very similar. And we were lucky as well with Isaac. He had a chance to take the lead and make it 2-2. So unlucky. He was offside. We were blessed with that call, even though he was offside. But it could have been different. And if they had gone 2-0 up, I don't think we would have found the way back. I think it would have been a mountain to climb at that stage. I think it would have been really, really difficult. Um, we can't get away from talking about our captain, Jordan Henderson. Um, Absolutely love the guy. Captain fantastic. He's been an absolute warrior for us over the last few years. But and I've called this already. It's very clear that Carvalho should be starting. And that means ultimately that Fabinho starts in his role, and you have Harvey on one side and Carvalho on the other side. And I'm really, really concerned because we're not going to. It doesn't look like we're going to make that decision, and it doesn't look like the gaffer's willing to make that decision. And who am I to question his decisions? But it's fairly evident at the moment. Um, that Jordan Henderson, I'm not sure whether Jordan Henderson should even be starting at the moment. But there's a number of people we could talk about like that tonight. I mean, Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't think across the team I've seen us play in possession so lazy, with no intent, um, until we got that equaliser. And it's like as if it woke us up. And albeit after that as well, Newcastle had some play as well. But until we got that equaliser, that was the stimulus that got us to keep pushing forward and stuff like that and try and get the winner. And that's admirable in the team, we have to say. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that at all. That's what we want to see. But it's really, really, really concerning at the moment that we have 2 kids basically pushing us forward at the moment, and that the youngest kid on the team is basically the man of the match week in, week out. On a team where we used to have 5, 6, 7 leaders on the pitch. So yeah, it's really, really concerning. Um, and on another day that could have went against us, but we'll take the 3 points. We'll move up the table, and we'll push on to the Merseyside derby on Saturday lunchtime, which again is going to be a really, really tough match. Um, no, nothing will be given in that game. It'll be a proper aggressive game. And not dissimilar to the game tonight. I mean, Newcastle got stuck in, um, but that second half kind of pushed us through. Um, but when you leave it till the 98th minute, I mean, how often is that going to happen? Um, but again, I think Carvalho, I think he's, between his play the other day against Bournemouth when he came on was a breath of fresh air. He has to be pushing for a starting position at this stage. And to be honest with you, I think if we had an option for Trent as well, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Trent needed some time out of the team as well. It's just lazy, nonchalant effort from him at times, symptomatic of that pass that led to the Isaac goal. It's just this kind of like, believe in your own hype and kind of don't give a shit. And I don't know what it is. I don't know how this has crept into the team, but Klopp needs to get a hold of it quick. The team just looks uninterested. You know what I mean? Like, even looking at them, I don't know if you looked at them in the tunnel before they came out. I looked at Virgil van Dijk in the tunnel before he came out. Normally, he's laser focused. He'd be eyeing down the other team. He'd be giving it to them and stuff like that. Just stood in the tunnel there, laid back, like it was the last place on the planet he wanted to be. And I don't know what's going on, if there's something going on behind the scenes. I've no idea. But it needs to be sorted, and it needs to be sorted quickly. Because the attitude at the moment of some of the players in terms of their play on the pitch absolutely stinks. Just lazy in the tackle, putting the leg in and stuff like that. Lazy in the pass, no crispness to it and stuff like that. And it's just so concerning at the moment. Albeit we got the result tonight, and yeah, we're going to celebrate that. But the performance overall was absolutely shocking, apart from Carvalho. Mo got 2 assists, but we expect so much more from him. And Harvey Elliott were the shining lights. And of course, Allison as well, who literally had nothing to do. I think he had one save to make in the whole game. But yeah, let's get into these player ratings, because it's just so frustrating when you win like that. You should be jumping around, you should be excited and stuff like that, but it's just worrying times when you see what's unfolding. But these are our player ratings. I'll go full screen for this. Poor old eyes. Allison, I gave a 6 to. Didn't have a lot to do, really. Couldn't do a whole lot for the Isaac goal. But did what he had to do. Again, some of his distribution was really clever, and I liked that. Again, at times balls getting kicked out of play needlessly, but again, Ali is 6, did his job. Trent, I gave a 3 to. I don't know what's going on with Trent at the moment. I don't know what's going on with his mind. Just seems very lazy. Even when he's putting balls in the box now, he's just putting them in there. He's not looking for someone. He's not picking someone out. It's just throw the ball into the box there and hope that it lands at someone in a red jersey and we can put it in. Very poor. Joe, I gave a 4 to. Just at times giving away needless free kicks when he didn't need to, which could have led to more from Newcastle. But at times again, okay. But I gave a 4 to him. I didn't think he really put a stamp on the game at all. Virgil, I gave a 6 to. Again, I probably could have given a lower rating, but I gave him a 6. He did okay tonight. He did what he's supposed to do. But I think for him being a senior player there now and being looked to as a leader, I think he should be bringing a lot more in these games. And I'm just worried about how disinterested some of these players look at the moment. I don't know if there's been an issue behind the scenes. I don't know if something is going on. I'm not too sure. But they look like a group of very disinterested players at times. Robbo, I gave a 6 to. Thought he was decent in the first half. Created a couple of opportunities. I thought his link-up play with Fabinho and balls out to the left and how he found them and stuff like that. And his link-up play with Diaz, I thought was really good. So I gave him a 6. Fabinho, I gave a 6 to. I probably could have given a 7 to Fabinho because, in fairness, he was progressive at going forward. And it's the most forward play I've seen from Fabinho in a game. And of course, we were chasing the winner, so it's not surprising. But I thought he really pushed forward at times. So yeah, I might actually give him a 7. Scratch that 6. Because I thought at times he was one of our more progressive midfielders and stuff like that. Elliot, I give an 8 to. I don't think there's any argument there for man of the match at all. I thought he was really, really good in the first half. Always probing, always looking to get forward. Very clever with his play. And that ball he played through that time for Diaz was as good a ball you'll see getting played through the middle. As we said in the preview, play through the middle, not as much down the flanks. And when we played through the middle, we looked really, really well. Hendo, I gave a 3 to. I know some people will say he played a few decent passes and stuff like that. No, but I just think he's way off. Absolutely way off. I thought he was anonymous for most parts of that first half. I was actually shocked he came out in the second half. I thought Klopp would have made the change earlier, but he seems hesitant to this whole sentiment FC again, where you're playing the old school guys who brought you to the dance, but that dance was a long time ago, and you need to find a new dance partner now because sentiment FC will get you into trouble. Hendo gets a 3. I expect a lot more for him. I don't expect the 18 or the 19-year-old beside him to be more of a captain than he is on the pitch. I expect him to be the guy who's inspiring the young lad beside him to do what he does. But not happening. So really, really concerned about that. And if it was me, and I know it's the Merseyside derby, and I know there'll be a battle there in midfield, my starting lineup for Saturday will be Carvalho, Elliott, and Fabinho. I have to put it out there. Salah, I gave a 6 to. 2 assists, but we expect a lot more. We'd like to see him get a few goals and stuff like that. But again, I thought in the first half, really, really sloppy in possession, giving the goal up easy, got shoved off the ball easy. Normally, he has that bit of strength about him to draw the foul and stuff like that, but Byrne took care of him quite a bit. And he just gave up the ball very easily at times. And when he gives up the ball at times, because when he picks up the ball, the team is pushing forward on this attack. And if he loses the ball that easy, the player can look up so quick and bang, spring and counter attack straight away. And they did it a couple of times tonight, Newcastle, and we were lucky to go back and cover it. Fabinho, I gave a 5 to, or Firmino, sorry, I gave a 5 to. Was okay at times, but again, got his goal that get us back into the game, but kind of drifted out of the game at times. And this kind of happens sometimes with Bobby, where he's in the game for a spell of 5 to 10 minutes, and then suddenly you don't hear from him for maybe 15 minutes or something like that, not in the game. Really concerning. Diaz, I gave a 5 to. Probably could have given him a 6. Couple of nice bits of play in the first half and stuff like that, but again, it has to lead to something. So unlucky for the missed goal from the ball through from Harvey Elliott. Would have been a brilliant team goal in terms of Harvey's play and how he split the lines and opened Newcastle up, and Diaz actually making the run to see it was absolutely brilliant. But we have to be harsh at times on this. Overall, if you look at the game over 90 minutes, at times drifted out of the game. Not a whole lot in the second half. And at times just a little bit clueless on the ball. Just in that final moment of making those decisions. Not dissimilar to Curtis Jones. They're the player ratings. Looks like big up, Daz. How are you, man? Good job. We won. But not good for my heart, Daz. Not good for me to be dealing with games like that against the likes of Newcastle. But look, the main thing is the 3 points at the moment. We know that we're struggling. We know there's a little bit of disjointment there. The concern was always, could we bring the link-up play and the probing forward play that we brought against Bournemouth? Could we bring that against Newcastle? And the answer simply was no. So the Bournemouth game now becomes an anomaly, and now we've a lot of work to do now to get ready for the Everton game, the Merseyside derby on Saturday morning, which is going to be a tough one. And we will bring you a preview for that, of course. But yeah, that's it. 3 points, 2-1, 98-minute Carvalho. Never easy sometimes supporting this club that we love, but we continue it and we always ride that journey with them. I've been on this journey now since 1979, so I've been on the highs and very much the 30 years of the lows. But yeah, we just need to find our rhythm. Hopefully, I heard Jota's back towards the end, towards the back end of the week, he'd be back in training and stuff like that. I don't think he'd make the derby. Talk is Thiago was close and Jones is close and stuff like that. So we'll be welcoming back any players at this stage. Anything that can prop up that bench, will be welcomed back greatly. Until next time. If you want to contact the show, it's the upper tier podcast at gmail.com. If you're watching it, make sure you drop a like on it and support us and stuff like that. Let us know what your player ratings were in the comments. Let me know if you agree. Am I being a bit too harsh? I'm always open to being questioned on these things. I'm only reacting as I see. That's why we call them match reactions and player ratings. Want nothing but good for my team. Always want them to win. But this season's going to be a little bit of a struggle, I'd imagine. We are back tomorrow night with Thursday Tier Talk. We're going to be counting down deadline day for the last hour, going through all the transfers in the Premier League. We're also going to be doing the Premier League preview for the weekend. And we're also going to be bringing you Beat the Bookie, where we make our picks and our bets for the weekend as well. We've had a little bit of success over the last couple of weeks, so keep an eye on that if you want to follow us. Of course, the boys off the WhatsApp group, Ted and Greg and Mark and Darren and all, we all bring them. The band will be back together tomorrow night, myself and Darren, to bring you that show. And then we're heading off for the weekend to clash at the Castle down in Cardiff, the WWE event, 80,000 people strong in the Millennium Stadium, the Principality. So it should be a bit of fun, but we'll try and bring you content when we're over there as well. Might pass by a few old school stadiums or something like that on the way to Cardiff, and might stop by and make a few short videos or something. That we'll see how the road trip goes. Until next time, an absolute pleasure having you watching the show. And as always, support us as much as you can. We will talk to you again real soon.